On my 41st birthday, my family threw me a surprise party. It turned out to be a public humiliation ceremony. My youngest son took the mic first. This man didn't raise me, he ruined me. He broke everything he touched. My middle son projected a video titled The Blueprint of a Broken Man, a gut punch montage of every job I got fired from. Then came my ex-wife, dressed in white like a bride. I wore this so you'd remember the day you poisoned my future. The crowd roared. My own mother sat front row, clapping. My brother raised a glass and toasted, to the man who was never there. May he stay that way. And then one by one they stood and said, "We're done carrying your last name." I just smiled, and walked out without a word. Later they got a surprise they never saw coming. Now they're blowing up my phone, crying, screaming, leaving voicemails. Please, please just talk to us. So yeah, I'm Philip. I'm 41. And I have one of those families, if you know, you know. It's like we all technically live near each other. I'm in this little apartment. Mom's 5 minutes away. My brother's always hanging around even though he says he hates this town. Ex-wife still has my last name on her mailbox. My 2 sons are both technically adults, but act like they're in middle school half the time. I don't even do birthdays. Not since the divorce. But this year, something was just off from the jump. My brother Audriel calls me the night before, but it wasn't normal. Just says out of nowhere, "You're not allergic to cake, right?" I say, "I'm not, but why?" He laughs and hangs up. That's it. Not even a happy birthday. I thought maybe he was drunk or something. He gets weird when he's trying to act like he still cares. Next day I'm just chilling with my coffee and I get this group text. My mom says, "Come to Juniper's house at 3. Wear something nice." She says, "Don't be late." I'm like, am I being set up for a surprise party? I mean, I know my family's got issues, but even for us, that's kind of normal, right? But then my youngest, Zachary, texts me, "Hope you're ready for this." With a skull emoji. I just reply, "For what?" He leaves me on read. Not a good sign. I show up and there's way more cars than there should be. I don't even recognize half the license plates. Random neighbor I haven't talked to in 3 years is there. Old friends of my mom. Even one of my ex-wife's friends who I'm pretty sure blocked me on Facebook after the divorce. Feels like I'm walking into an intervention. Or maybe a wedding. IDK. I walk in and it's dead quiet for a second, then everyone starts clapping, but it's not happy birthday clapping. It's more like that slow, sarcastic clap you see in memes. My mom's sitting front row, hands folded, looking like she's at church. My brother's in a jacket, which is rare. My ex-wife Reagan has on this white dress that makes her look like she's trying to make a point. Even my oldest, Albert, is standing off to the side, arms crossed, not even pretending to smile. They sit me down in this chair in the middle of the room. Kind of like I'm on display. I'm not an idiot. I know something's up, but I'm just waiting to see what the joke is. NGL, my family's always been harsh, but this feels like something else. Zachary, my youngest, grabs the mic. Why is there even a mic? And looks right at me. He says, "This man didn't raise me. He ruined me. He breaks everything he touches." Everyone's staring for a second. And I think he's messing around, but he's not. He's dead serious. He starts listing stuff like every time I missed his soccer games, every time I yelled about the Wi-Fi bill, every time I forgot to show up to something at school. He drops stuff I haven't thought about in years. Says, "Maybe if you'd actually cared about us instead of your problems, we wouldn't all be so screwed up." I'm just sitting there, not even sure how to react because he's not wrong about some of it, but he's twisting it to make it sound like I never did anything for him. Then Albert, my middle son, stands up and connects his phone to the TV. He says, "Let's show everyone the blueprint of a broken man." It's a video, like a highlight reel, but not the good kind. All these old clips, photos, even screenshots of texts I sent them when I was pissed off or tired. There's a part where he's scrolling through a list of jobs I got fired from, like he's reading my stats out loud. Even plays an old voicemail of me apologizing for missing his birthday once, Which, yeah, I did, but I was dealing with a lot back then. The whole room's watching like it's a Netflix doc. Honestly, I didn't even know he still had half of that stuff. Then Reagan, my ex, stands up in this white dress. Like, she's literally trying to look bridal. She says, "I wore this so you'd remember the day you poisoned my future." She starts talking about how I ruined her life, how she's still cleaning up the mess from our marriage, how she can't trust anyone because of me. She says, "I want everyone to know what it's like to have your future ripped up by someone who only cares about himself." I can see her hands shaking, but she's enjoying it. The crowd is eating it up. Some people are even laughing. My brother stands up, raises a glass, and says, "To the man who was never there. May he stay that way." I hear a couple people say "damn" under their breath. My mom just claps, like slow, that fake supportive clap. I look at her and she just shrugs like, "You brought this on yourself." I'm not even mad at that point. I'm just done. Then one by one, everyone stands up, including my brother, my sons, my ex, even my mom. And they all say, "We're done carrying your last name." Some of them look angry. Some just look bored, like they're reading off a script. I think even my brother's wife, who never says a word to me, joins in. I just sit there for a second. Not gonna lie, there's a part of me that wants to get up and start yelling, to tell them they're all full of it. That they wouldn't have half the stuff they do if I hadn't bailed them out so many times. That they're just mad because I finally stopped giving in every time they wanted something. But I don't. I just stand up, look at each of them, and smile. It's not even a real smile, more like, "You want to play this game? Fine, I can play too." I walk out. Nobody follows. Not even my mom. I hear someone slam the door behind me. Not sure who. I get in my car and just sit there for a minute, scrolling through my texts, watching as the group chat blows up with messages I don't read. I drive home. Block every number that comes up. I don't even feel sad. Just pissed off. Like, "You want to humiliate me? You better be ready for what comes next." So yeah, that was my 41st. First time in a long time I actually felt like doing something about it. And if they thought that was the end, they really don't know me at all. I've got a plan. They're about to find out just how much I was really holding up. Next update soon. Update 1. So you know how last time I said I had a plan? Yeah. Turns out when you grow up in a family that treats you like a backup generator, you learn exactly where every wire is. Not that anyone ever thanked me for it. After that joke of a party, I start noticing the tiniest things. Like my brother sending me a Venmo request for $40 for pizza and gas, the same day he posts about his new sneakers on Instagram. My mom forwarding me a picture of her broken sink with a sad face and a message about how she can't afford a plumber right now. Reagan tagging me in an old vacation photo, then immediately texting me about the car insurance bill due in 3 days. It's not even subtle anymore. They're not embarrassed, just expectant. I wake up to a text from Audriel the day after the party. He says, "So, you going to apologize or what?" I just stare at the phone for a sec. Wow. Not even good morning. No one else reaches out except my mom, who just sends one of those praying hands emojis. I ignore them all. I start scrolling through my banking app, looking at all the crap I'm still paying for. Like, actually, what am I doing? I'm not even living with these people. I'm just a wallet with a Wi-Fi password. So whatever. That's it. I start making calls. I call the landlord for my mom's place, tell her I'm not paying the rent after the next month. She gets quiet, then tells me she'll talk to my mother directly. I say, "Yeah, do that." I open up all my auto-pays and start cancelling. Reagan's car insurance, gone after this payment cycle. The boys' tuition loans, I text them both, "You can figure out payment plans with the school now. You're adults." My brother's little business money, I send him a note in the group chat, "No more transfers. Don't ask." I keep it all on record. No drama, just facts. I tell each of them exactly what's ending and when, so no one can pull the "I didn't know" card. It's all in writing. Funny thing, no one says anything for a day. I think they assume I'm bluffing. I get a couple passive-aggressive memes from Zachary. Something about deadbeat dads. Whatever. I've seen worse. By day 3, though, it's like someone set off a fire alarm. My mom calls. Doesn't even say hi. Just launches into "you can't do this to family." I say, "You made it very clear at the party I'm not your family." She hangs up. I hear later from an aunt that my mom's telling everyone I've lost my mind. I guess not paying her rent is a sign of mental illness now. Reagan shows up at my door. Doesn't even knock. Just starts yelling through the hallway. Says I'm abandoning my responsibilities. I'm humiliating her. The car will get repossessed. The boys will have to drop out. I say, "Not my problem anymore." She tries to push past me into the apartment. I block her. She slaps my arm. I just stand there. She storms off, slams the door so hard the neighbor's dog starts barking. I watch her leave, then lock up. I can hear her yelling at someone on the phone in the parking lot. Pretty sure she's calling my brother. Audriel tries a different approach. He calls me at midnight, leaves a voicemail. "I'm just trying to keep the business afloat. You know how things are. Just need a couple more months. I'll pay you back." I don't answer. He sends me a string of angry texts the next morning ending with "Don't ever ask me for anything again." I just mute him. The dude owes me thousands, but whatever. Not chasing him anymore. Zachary goes to my mom and tells her I've ruined his future. I get a message from her, caps lock, of course, saying I'm breaking his heart. He's never going to forgive me. I reply, "You all made your feelings clear at the party. You humiliated me in front of everyone. I'm done." She just says, "You're a disappointment." It gets a little messy after that. Reagan calls the school, tries to get them to let the boys stay on good faith. I get an email from the school's finance office asking if I'll reconsider. I reply no. My brother tries to guilt-trip mutual friends, but most of them are kind of tired of his act anyway. My mom calls my dad's old friend, tries to get him to talk sense into me. I don't pick up. Group chat starts blowing up. Zachary says I'm acting like a child. Albert says he's not taking sides, but I should be reasonable. Reagan jumps in, says I'm being abusive, which is wild considering all the stuff she said at that party. My brother goes off on everyone. Says I was always the favorite, which is hilarious because I was never even close. I just keep blocking people. I see my mom at the store one afternoon. She tries to ignore me, then suddenly walks over and starts arguing, not even caring who hears. She says I'm destroying the family. I say, "You already did that for me." She slaps my shoulder. I just walk away. Honestly, I thought I'd feel guilty, but I'm just tired. They want to act like I was never there. Fine. Now they can see what that's actually like. I'm not paying for anyone's mistakes anymore. If that makes me the villain, whatever. The real kicker is now that the money's drying up, they're all fighting with each other. I get screenshots from my cousin of the family group chat. Blaming, accusing, suddenly everyone's got receipts. Turns out when you take away the guy who always fixes things, nobody else steps up. Who knew? So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm not rescuing anybody. I'm not picking up the phone. I'm not playing nice. If they wanted me gone, they can see what gone actually means. Next part's coming. Trust me, it gets even pettier. Update 2. Okay, so I didn't expect it to get this messy this fast, but I'm kind of impressed at how fast the "we're done with you" energy wore off once I pulled the plug. Like, within a week, the vibes in the family group chat went from good riddance to "so what now?" And it only got weirder from there. First weird sign. Audriel starts posting these cryptic stories on his Instagram. Stuff like some people aren't loyal and not everyone's family. Nothing direct, but everyone knows he's talking about me. Then my mom starts sharing old photos of family parties with captions like "remember when we cared about each other." She tags everyone except me. Not subtle. Well, then I get a call from my cousin, not even someone I talk to much, saying, "Hey, did you really stop paying for grandma's rent?" I just say, "Ask her." 2 days later, my mom's calling me non-stop. Then switches to texting in all caps. Then silence. I figure she's hoping I'll cave if she gives me the cold shoulder. Instead, I get a call from her landlord asking if she's moving out. I just say, I'm not part of their arrangement anymore. The dude sighs and says, yeah, I figured. So now everyone's scrambling. I start hearing about it all secondhand, which honestly is kind of fun. Reagan apparently tried to use my name to call the car loan place and they shut her down. She texts me, you can't just leave me in this mess. This is your fault. I reply, you literally told a room full of people you were done with me. She says, that was just for show. You know how these things are. I don't answer after that. Zachary posts on TikTok about how his toxic parent ruined his college plans. I see it because my cousin sends it to me with a laughing emoji. I don't say anything. Albert actually emails me, which is weird, and basically tries to guilt-trip me about how he's going to have to take a semester off if I don't pay. I just forward him the email from the school's finance office. He says, you're being petty. You're punishing us for being honest. I say, you were never honest. You just wanted an audience. Meanwhile, Audriel's business is tanking because I'm not covering his overdrafts anymore. I hear from a mutual friend he got in a shouting match with his wife about money. She calls me, asks if I can just help them out for a bit. I say, not my circus. She says, you're unbelievable. Then hangs up. Later I hear she actually threw a mug at Audriel and he had to clean up the kitchen himself. Honestly, not my problem. My mom is the wildest, though. She tries to go around me and call my old friend to see if he'll talk to me about family obligation. The guy texts me, your mom's going through it. I just say, yeah, she'll figure it out. Next thing I know, she's posting on Facebook about how some people never appreciate the sacrifices mothers make. The comments are a mess. People are picking sides. Family drama everywhere. Then the boys start fighting with each other. I only know because I get CC'd on an email chain where Zachary is blaming Albert for escalating everything at the party. And Albert is saying he only did the video because Zachary pushed him. They loop Reagan in. She says, I told you both not to go too far. At this point, I'm almost impressed at how fast the unity falls apart. There's a lot of little things too. Audriel tries to show up at my apartment. When I see him through the peephole, I don't answer. He bangs on the door, then leaves. My mom tries to corner me at the grocery store, blocks my cart, says, you're going to regret this. Then pushes my shoulder and storms off, knocking over a display on the way out. Reagan stops by and tries to guilt-trip me again. Says, I hope you're happy. Then slams the door behind her. I just put on my headphones and ignore it. Social stuff gets awkward too. My aunt invites me to a barbecue and then uninvites me after my mom complains. Some people try to stay neutral, but you can tell everyone's picking a side. I get DMs from people I haven't heard from in years asking what happened. I just say, ask them. The wildest part is nobody actually apologizes. Not once. It's all blame, all deflection. Like they thought I'd just fold and come back crawling. Instead, they're eating each other alive. I guess when you base your whole relationship on someone else's money, you don't have much left when it's gone. The group chat is dead now. Just the occasional angry rant from Audriel or a guilt trip meme from my mom. I muted it weeks ago. I'm just doing my own thing now. Paying my own bills, not getting dragged into their drama. I see Reagan at the gas station. She glares at me. I just nod and keep going. Audriel's wife tried to call again, but I blocked her. Albert texted me, you really don't care about us, do you? I didn't even bother answering. So yeah, that's where it's at. I know this isn't some neat story with a bow on top. I'm not expecting anyone to change. I just want them to finally see what life's like when the person they spent years trashing actually walks away. And trust me, the final move is coming and they're not ready for it. Next update soon. Final update. Honestly thought by now they'd just freeze me out and move on. But turns out when you kick the wrong pillar out from under a house, the whole thing wobbles. Not that any of them would admit it even now. Last post I said the group chat died. Not totally true. It's just changed from everyone piling on me to everyone kind of circling each other, taking turns blaming, poking, trying to get someone else to fix things. And now they're coming for me again. But it's too little, way too late. It started pretty quiet. Just the usual petty stuff. Audriel texting me a screenshot of his bank overdraft like that's going to magically make a deposit appear. Mom's neighbor corners me at the grocery store and says, "Your mother's not herself lately. Maybe you should call her." I say, "She knows my number." I get a string of emails from Albert about his financial aid. Always CCing Reagan, who started signing her messages for the boys' sake. Still can't believe she thinks that'll work. But then the real fun started. I get a letter from the property manager for the building where my mom lives. Her lease is up in 60 days, and I'm the one who's been on the paperwork for years, even though she's the tenant. I never told her, but I put the notice of non-renewal in the mail myself. She texts me all caps, "You're making your own mother homeless." I reply, "You're a grown woman. You'll figure it out." She tries calling. I block her. My aunt tries to get in on it. I block her too. Audriel starts panicking because his business loan, which, let's be real, was me covering his credit card bill, is now being called in by collections. I actually went through the trouble of sending all our texts and payment records to the collection agency. He shows up at my apartment, pounds on the door, yelling, "You're screwing me over on purpose." I stand in the doorway and say, "You did it to yourself." He tries to shove past me. I block him. He pushes my chest. I just stare at him and he leaves, slamming the stairwell door so hard it echoes. Reagan's car gets towed right out of her driveway. She calls me losing it. Says the boys will never forgive me. Says I'm a monster. I say, "You made your choice at that party." She tries to threaten me with some kind of legal thing, but the car was in my name and I cancelled the insurance, so that's that. She tries to slap me when she catches me in the parking lot at the grocery store, but I step back and she just yells at me instead. People are watching. Nobody says anything. The thing is, they're all smart in their own way. They know how to guilt trip, how to make things look like my fault. But now that everything's actually breaking, they're just desperate. Zachary calls me from some unknown number. Doesn't even bother with small talk. Just goes straight into "You ruined my life. You never cared about us. I hope you're happy." I say, "You'll get over it." He hangs up. I get a voicemail from my mom. She's crying. Then she's angry. Then she's just quiet. Says she can't believe her own son would do this. Says she should have never let me back into her life after Dad left. I listen to the whole thing, then delete it. My phone starts blowing up. Group chat, missed calls, voicemails, even Facebook messages from random family I haven't seen in years. Everyone's got an opinion. Nobody's got an actual solution. It's wild how fast it all falls apart. Albert drops out for a semester, texts me, "Thanks for nothing, Dad. Hope you're proud." I don't answer. Reagan's new boyfriend tries to get in my face at the gas station. Tells me I'm a deadbeat. I say, "You can pay your bills if you want," then walk away. Audriel posts on Twitter about how betrayal always comes from the ones closest to you. Mom goes back to tagging me in old family photos with passive-aggressive captions. I just block them all one after another. The biggest surprise to them, I think, is that I actually followed through. Like they did that whole public spectacle thinking I'd just eat it and keep paying for their crap. But I'm not their villain anymore. I'm just not their anything. And now they're scrambling, begging, threatening, whatever. I even got a handwritten letter from my mom. Seriously, when's the last time anyone used a stamp? Saying, "Please, just talk to us. Please, please, just talk to us." I'm not going to lie. Part of me thought I'd feel guilty, but I just feel free. I don't owe them anything. Not after that. They wanted to make me the bad guy. Fine. I'll be the bad guy who doesn't pay their bills, who doesn't pick up the phone, who doesn't show up just to get slapped or screamed at. I see them in public sometimes, and it's just nods or dirty looks now. Nobody tries to talk. Maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe they won't. IDK. All I know is I'm not carrying any more weight that isn't mine. They can keep the last name or drop it. Doesn't matter to me. I got my own life to live finally. So yeah, that's the end of it.